Meir Javedanfar, a Middle East analyst. Meir, thank you so much for your time. The Attorney General of Israel says that no one is above the law and that indictments like this are not a question of left or right, that it had to be done and he did it with a heavy heart. What do you make of Benjamin Netanyahu's defence that the judiciary, his political opponents, the police are all lined up collectively against him?
Well, these are the cries of a desperate man, really. Netanyahu knows that, the judiciary took a very long time to look at the evidence, to corroborate the evidence against him. The judiciary has put leftist politicians behind the bars. It has put rightist politicians, including former Prime Minister Ehud Olmert, behind bars. Mr. Netanyahu said nothing, but now he realizes that the odds are slowly becoming stacked against him. Of course, he's lost politically. He's losing the judiciary fight already in terms of he tried to stop. He was thinking of in the previous elections blocking the judiciaries. He was thinking of giving himself immunity, and that's not going to happen now. And he realizes now that he's going to have problems within Likud because look. In 20 days' time, it is very probable that the Israeli parliament won't be able to name a prime minister. There will be another elections in Israel. And, will the Likud want to go into elections with their leader having not one, not two, but 3 indictments against him? That's unlikely.
Now, what's the issue with diplomatic immunity from prosecution? Does he have that currently in his status as prime minister? And could that potentially be extended beyond his term as PM?
Look, according to Israeli law, which was modified in 2005, he needs to convince the majority of the parliament, of the Israeli parliament, that he should have immunity from prosecution as long as he's in office, as long as he's serving the people of power, in people of Israel. So let's look at the maths. There are 120 members of the Knesset. He will need at least 61 members of the Knesset to back him, to give him immunity. Looking at the current makeup of those who are for Netanyahu and who are those against him, the numbers are stacked against him. It doesn't look like he's going to get it for now.
Okay. Whether or not the indictments and the charges are upheld, whether or not there is a trial and whether or not he's found guilty or not, just the fact that the charges exist, do they tell you the story of a man who believes himself to have become untouchable in Israel?
I think it's the story of a man who is hubris. It happens to a lot of leaders who are in power for a long time. This is why some countries have laws that says a prime minister cannot serve more than 2 consecutive terms. In Israel, we actually have it, but it says that he cannot serve 2 full consecutive years. A full consecutive year in Israeli politics is 4 years, and we've almost had maybe 1 or 2 governments that have served 4 years. So Netanyahu has managed, by calling early elections or because of political crisis in Israel, not to serve the full 4 years. He's staying in power, and power goes to people's heads, and he started doing things that he's a smart man. I don't agree with his policies, but he's a very smart man, and the hubris got to him to the point he started doing things that are very illogical. For example, to expect that he can receive, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of shekels worth of gifts from a foreign donor to do political favors, things like that, and also to expect to start manipulating Israeli media to his favor. This just goes to show that power got to his head, and he's not the only one. It has happened in history many times before with leaders, and it will happen again.
Meir, thank you so much. Always appreciate it. Meir Javedanfar speaking to us from Tel Aviv.